Hey everybody, I'm Carrie Sheffield and we are here with Susan McPherson. We are so happy to have you here. We're going to talk about corporate social responsibility, CSR. So Susan, let's get started. So first of all, you are one of the top women on Twitter. You've been named that by multiple magazines. Why are you so great on Twitter?
Wow. You know what? I don't think about it that often, Carrie. And first of all, thank you for inviting me to join you today.
Sure.
People sometimes say to me, "Oh, wow, you're just like your Twitter feed," which kind of makes me laugh. But I have to say, I'm just who I am, and I love using the platform to actually promote others.
And so you use Twitter for social chat.
Well, about 6 years ago, I founded something called CSR Chat, with the goal to really showcase the organizations, the corporations, the nonprofit organizations that were really pushing the envelope to do the right thing. Because I felt it was worthwhile to give them a stage, a voice, and amplify that. And when you think about the underlying tenets of corporate responsibility, it is very much about transparency. It's opening the kimono. It's giving organizations an opportunity to directly talk to their consumers, their partners, their stakeholders. So I started CSR Chat to actually do that.
So what are some of the common questions that you see coming up on Twitter then?
Well, oftentimes the questions we'll be asking, besides doing an annual corporate responsibility report, what is your company doing? What is it funding? If we're particularly focusing on environmental sustainability, we'll be asking them about their, packaging. Are they reducing packaging? Are they limiting water use? How are they giving back? And oftentimes the company will provide a whole plethora of what they're doing.
So when you're advising these corporations for your CSR chats, do you find that they are responsive throughout the year, or is it only when there's a fire happening or it's like an emergency and we need emergency PR?
Sure. Well, you just said something interesting. You said emergency PR, and I don't see PR as part of CSR per se. Many years ago, when you were probably still young, a lot of companies were being accused of greenwashing. Millennials aren't going to buy from them if they don't feel and believe that they are authentically doing the right thing.
What advice, when you're first meeting with a company, what are the first things you tell them about your consulting and sort of
Sure.
the approach to CSR?
Sure. I wish there was a special formula. One of the first things we do is we do almost like a diagnostic to find out what the company's been doing, what their goals are, what are they trying to accomplish by embarking on a particular initiative or program, who are their constituents that they are trying to reach.
It seems to me in popular press and maybe in college, there's this perception that corporations are just one thing. They're just bad. They're just greedy. They are just only looking out for themselves or their shareholders. Do you think that millennials get that nuance, or are we doing enough to teach that to young people?
I don't know if we're doing enough, but I think millennials that have a good head on their shoulders know that. And
Sure.
certainly anyone who studied business or, you're as a company, you are primarily need to answer to your shareholders. I mean, what we are seeing also is the rise of B Corps, which I find particularly satisfying and gratifying, meaning...
And can you talk through a little
Sure.
bit about what
Yeah.
B Corps are?
Well, when you form your company, you can form as an LLC, correct? Which is certainly a for-profit. You can choose go a completely different way, and you can be a
C Corp.
501c. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as a B Corp, you are measured on not just your financial returns, but your give back to society. So for companies that are incorporating now in this day and age, or companies that have already become a for-profit LLC, you can transfer to become, you can apply to become a B Corp. So I do think we're starting to see these different models that are forming, so that when you're a millennial, which I can't pretend to be, but you can look at the landscape of business and be like, okay, well, I want to support some of these companies that it's in their ethos, but they still want to make money. I mean, money's a good thing. I always say, earning money means you can then write checks to support causes. You can fund entrepreneurs, which to me is a social good because you're creating jobs.
So what advice do you have for trolls? How do you handle trolls?
I very rarely have trolls that come after me.
What about the companies? Did the companies have trolls?
Yes, I mean, of course, Coca-Cola, they're a client. They
What
of course
advice do you have for?
I think
Writing the
you've got to always take the high road. Just do the right thing, and things will fall into place. I wish life was that simple, but I think, again, it's a moment in time, and unless they take over, I think you've got to just continue moving forward and doing and believing what you believe in.
Well, Susan, thank you so much. This has been a wonderful conversation. We learned a lot. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Susan
much.
McPherson, everyone. We'll have to have her back soon. Thanks.